Hey everybody, my name is Vospi, and this is Supersaw. I like rhythm games. I like them for a long time. I started playing like in 2004, and since when my dream came true and my music is in there. It's in Pump It Up, it's in Cytos, IDG, Stepmania, a lot of other things you might know. And for sure, if you are any type of Bemani or Eurobeat fan, you've heard that sound. So I was always curious on how to create this. Tonight I was just a little bored and I've created a specific wavetable. So I went on and made a whole patch, made some macros for you and some processing with free plugins only, so you could use it. And in advance, I'm apologizing for my broken English because I'm not a native speaker at all, but I am trying to get better, with your help, of course. So, what do we have here? This is a detune. Someone would call it supersaw sound, but it has its very, very attractive quality of this initial hit because we are automating the pitch right in there. It's not hard at all. It's all done for you. I'm just here to guide you through the options and to show off some other patches for other free plugins that would help you make something like this or this. But everything would be revealed in its time. So what do we have here? First of all, you can just open this patch. This synth, you might not know it yet, but it's making waves. It's called Vital. It is free. You would be completely okay to use basic version for this patch. You download it in the description. You import it here. Open external preset. Then you can save it for further use. I think it works that way. For me, it's now just in this long list. You can just play chords or play arpeggios with it. This is how it sounds in the middle of the range. Pretty much what would you expect. Low, down low, it's... okay. So almost your typical re sound. And up there, I bet any Bemani fan would recognize this sound instantly, as do I. So use it to your liking. I think it responds very well to arpeggios as well. I did not make it monophonic, but you can always do that. I prefer a lot of polyphonic voices, but it works fine. So, what are the tiny details you could use here? I would suggest some things. If you are not that familiar with synthesis and you cannot easily answer a question, what do I need here? How can I use this sound differently? So, first of all, I encourage you to learn. And I work with my students specifically for that. But I'm not here to promote my tutoring. I'm here to just make this a plug-and-play thing. Let's look what do we have here. These 4 macros could help you to shape it somewhat, a little bit, and I would guide you through them. Okay, the first one, is for this type of deal. And that brings us neatly to a CPU consumption of this patch. We are using a lot of voices when we are playing chords. And yes, Vital is pretty good with unison voices, which means with generating a lot of waveforms simultaneously. But we do have a problem, and that problem is oversampling. You see, when you are transforming a high-frequency wave, you could end up with a lot of high-frequency stuff accumulating on top, and even going down as low as your lowest frequency, your base frequency. So to avoid that, we can set it right here, but this is very hard on your CPU. And I don't have a measly CPU, by the way. So let's compare. 1x does not sound that bad at all. Okay, this is 8x. And your CPU consumption goes way up, as you can see. Let's test it out. 8x, 59, oh wow, 1x. Barely a blip. By default, for myself, I've set it to 8x because I don't really care and I would like to resample it later. But yeah, it's unpractical if you're using multiple instances of it, or you want it to play best chords all the time, or you're going to filter the high stuff out, or you like the aliasing sound that it gives you. Then go ahead and set it to 1x, but beware that this effect uses the sing thing, not a pitch, which is why it sounds so particular, and which is why it would sound rather harsh, I think, on 1x compared to even 2x. Kind of smoother, I would say. But you would hear most of the difference on the initial hit, and if you would emphasize highs, which we would do a little bit later. Okay, the second macro is openness. Let me set it back to 8x, because I don't care. Openness. This is the least open version. This patch responds to your velocity. So if I press real hard, it's a little bit louder, and the filter opens up. If I play softer, sounds like this. So this is the degree to which it happens. And on top, it's pretty much always open. Not really, as you could see. Look right here. See? But you can just turn the filter off and get this very dense highs all the time, if you need to. I don't really recommend it, though, for the most cases. Why would you use that? Maybe you would like to use it almost as a pluck or as a keyboard sound. There is why. Does not sound like much, but wait until we plug delay and reverb in. Auto slide, what is that? I really like the current setting, 06. This is a degree to which it slides from note to note all the time as it's set there. You can just disable it if you want to. You can tune it down or up. No auto slide at all. A longer glide time. You can push it even higher if you'd like to. I didn't like the effect. But I think that 06, you can enter it like this. Works quite well for fast chords, for arpeggios, for everything basically. We already have the initial the hit on the pitch, so it's not a big deal. Nevertheless, we can use that slider if you'd like to. Watery, what's that? You can tell it's a little bit less defined. Let's get a little bit higher. Sorry. Let's compare. Very open and soft and simple. Less precise, a little chorus going on. Let's combine the two. So maybe you're not looking for the harsh and precise sound that Bemani gives you by default. That's when watery comes in. It's a little bit of automation right here. Not much at all. Okay, so that's that. And as per usual for this type of sounds, at least From my experience, keyboardists like when mod wheel is mapped to a little bit of vibrato, like that. Okay. It does not sound very well when you are low, but up high, I think it's quite nice. Without, with, without, with. Okay. And let's go on. Look at the effects, and I would leave you, and I would hope you would go and make some Bemani bangers with it. So, what do we have here? This is OTT, the venerable multiband compressor. This is a preset that works for this type of sounds, I think. So it helps it to cut through the mix almost as if you are using distortion. And because it's a compressor, in this case, it works not as hard as OTT could, but still there is a considerable difference when you use just one sound or a chord together. This is one, let me turn this down. This is one note. This is a chord. This is a bigger chord. You can definitely tell that the single note sounds wider, sounds louder, which sometimes could be a problem, sometimes could be a benefit. It's really up to you. You can turn the downward compression down, but that means that you would get less of a coloration that this preset currently gives you. This preset is included in the description. It's in standard FXP format. If you do not know how to load it in your DAW, Google it. It should be possible. It is possible in FL Studio, although it is not a native FL Studio format. We have our own preset system right here. So let's go on and look at other things I've created for you. There is this beautiful free plugin called Valhalla Supermassive. This is a reverb and delay combined, a little bit on the weird side, at least it's presented that way, but I really do not see a problem in using it in a very, very generic case. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to take advantage of the fact that this plugin is fantastic and it's free. So let's go on and test it out. I've created two sends for you. If you do not know what send means, which this is just an opportunity for me to control my dry sound and my reverb separately. This is my wet sound. I can EQ it right now, make it louder, make it softer, whatever I like. Which is very handy in many, many cases, and there are more upsides to that, but maybe I will talk about that in a separate video sometimes. Let's look at this one. So this is a very, very soft and bright type of whole sound. You can try and tweak all these to get different effects. Once again, this would be in a Valhalla Supermassive format, so you load it in a folder where your Valhalla Supermassive stores the presets. So this one is Big Room Beamerverb, and this one is for a different type of stuff. Okay, it's a little bit too dense, but here it is. And it is up to you to turn the density down. It's here. The feedback manipulates that. Also, one thing you might miss about this plugin if you've never used any Valhalla stuff, just play around these and your presets would sound very, very different. So let's take a look. These are Hydra and Great Annihilator. So let's just pick a random one. So Gemini and Hydra. Okay. I would turn the rhythmic delay down, obviously, or make it not as bright as it is right now, but it is all up to you, really. So, all these three plugins are free, and you can just download the presets from the description and go on with your day. I hope it was interesting. I hope it was somewhat educational, although it is not a purpose of it, obviously. And I wish you to have a great day. If you would come up with something with the sounds, please go on and show it off. I would be happy to look at that. See ya. Love and kisses from Russia. Bye. It was Vospy.